the man I've been waiting to talk to all night, one of my favourites, Dave Reneke. Hello, Dave.
Dave, good to be with you, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone too.
Yes, now on that score, we've talked about it before, but I want to hear from you once again about the Star of Bethlehem.
Oh, yes.
Now, you've got a theory about it, haven't you?
Yeah, look, we have more than a theory about it, Dave. What happened was, some years ago, I got quite curious about this labelled Christmas star that we see. And at this time of the year, you can see it right now. When you go out, you can see it sitting in the west there. This is a bright star you can see. That's really the planet Venus.
Oh.
Now, we see it this time of year, and we call it the Christmas star. In a few months' time, Dave, it'll turn up in the early hours of the morning, and that'll become the morning star. So Venus is one of the culprits in this story. Now, have a look high overhead. If anyone's out at night now, no matter where you are in Australia, have a look and you'll see almost overhead another bright star-like object. That's Jupiter.
Okay.
These are the two protagonists in the story. Here's how it goes. You can now, and you have been for a while, been able to buy over-the-counter software, and now you can download it free to reconstruct the night sky, Dave, at any point in history you want.
Sure.
So we can go back hundreds, thousands, even 100,000 years if we want to, and see what the sky was like at any particular point in time, right down to the second. On the other side of the coin, you go forward too. We can have a look with this software, and you can see what Halley's Comet's going to be like in 2062 when it comes back here and where it's going to be.
Oh, that's interesting.
So armed with that information, we thought, okay, why don't we do a little trial study here and go back and see if we can find this fabled Christmas star that the Magi, the three wise men, were supposed to have seen. Well, the hair on the back of my neck stood up when we started to progress backwards. The only problem with the story is there are four main books of the Bible, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Matthew was the only one that had all the players in the same place at the same time. So we started off with a conundrum. We started off with, why do three books contradict each other and one doesn't? Anyway, look, as we progressed backwards in time, we watched the sky build itself up. We came to 543 BC, and we started to see a planetary alignment. In 3 BC and 2 BC, Venus and Jupiter started to align each other in the constellation of Leo. Now, that's important. Now, these two planets, though, at that time, in that point of time, in this part of the world, in the eastern part of the world, in the sky there, that would have looked like one bright beacon, because for almost 1,000 years they were closer than they've ever been before. They weren't really close, but from our point of view, one was in front of the other. And it looked like a magnified light. This would have been what we thought would have been the signal or a sign that the Magi, that three wise men, were looking for, because that would have been seen to be coming together over a period of months. Now, Jupiter was in the constellation of Leo. Now, Leo was seen as Jupiter's the planet of the kings. In those times, it was known as the planet of the kings. And Leo was the symbol of royalty.
Okay.
So isn't it interesting how they put this all together? This could have been what they say was the fabled Christmas star.
So are you saying that the combination of Venus and Jupiter, like one sort of overlapping the other, that would have given the image of a very, very bright star? Yeah.
Brighter than anything had ever been seen before.
Yeah, really? So in that part of the world, by the way, not just...
Well, it would have been seen right around the world.
Right around the world, okay, all right.
But we're talking 2,000 years ago. You know, Australia was only populated by Aboriginal people. They wouldn't have known the significance of it. Scholars there weren't many of them.
No.
These were people who were, the sky ruled their lives, Dave, in other words. But these are historical... What we're seeing here, this is not meant to validate anyone's birthday. I must make that straight point now. It's not meant to validate anyone's birthday. It was simply an exercise, a scientific experiment, to see if we could go back in those years with the book of Matthew to a point in time close to where we assume was the birth of Jesus. Now, there's no particular birth date known. There's no specific day, date, or even year that this man was supposed to have been born. So we can only assume that the three wise men, or the Magi as they were, and they were actually astrologers in those years, and these signs would have meant something to them. So all I'm saying is we use modern software to recreate the night sky of June 17, 2 BC. And what we found was a combination of two planets, Jupiter and Venus, almost joining together.
That's amazing.
Well, not joining together, but being close together in the sky as one big beacon.
Enhancing the brightness of one another. So,
by the way, anyone who wants to follow that up, that full story is on my website now. And if you just go to Astro Dave, or Astro Dave will find me, or Astro Space News.
Yeah, I love that story. I find it fascinating, and it's a very good theory. And well, I mean, in your eyes, it's more than a theory because you've got the you've got the proof to back it up. Now, wouldn't it be interesting, Dave? Because there isn't a lot of documentation, dating back 2,000 years. But when you consider what's been lost over the years, in those early years, consider, for instance, the Library of Alexandria, which was completely, that was, it was just a hoard of ancient documents that were, what happened to it? It was destroyed or looted or something like that?
But these are the times of Plato and Ptolemy.
Yes, exactly. But there must have been people who saw what you're describing, and isn't it a shame that that's lost forever? And there may have been information like that was documented 2,000 years ago, and piled up in one of these amazing ancient libraries that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, what I don't want is people ringing up when I've finished. And this has happened before, claiming that I've got the date wrong or whatever, and they've got the date right. Well, I don't care. I don't know. Nobody knows for sure. All we know, or all I know, is that we looked at the sky, we reproduced it exactly how it was in those years, and the only time we could get this bright light seen in the sky that would have accounted for it was on the 17th of June 2 BC.
That's amazing.
Now, people ring up and say, look, you're 200 years out or 2 years out. I don't care about that. It's not meant to validate anyone's... It was only, as I say again, I did a lot of trouble with this at one time, that's why I'm doing it now. But please don't mistake me. It was only a scientific exercise to see if we could find something, and we used the book of Matthew. But I must say again that I was very disappointed to see that these books, the four books, contradict each other in a lot of ways. And that worries you when you're talking about stuff like this.
Yeah, sure.
But anyway, that was the story of the Christmas star, and I kind of like it. It's nice.
I like it.
And when you look at Venus right now in the sky, go and have a look.
Yeah.
You'll see it setting in the west there, this brilliant bright star-like object, and through a telescope it looks like a half moon.
Yeah.
Every planet between us and the sun will give you a half-moon phase. If we were on Mars right now looking at planet Earth, you'd see half Earth, like we see half.
Okay, yeah. Now, Dave, I've got a caller. It's Joe, and he wants to ask you a question. Joe, David Bruce here, and
thanking you both, Davids.
With Dave Reneke. So,
hi, Joe.
Thank you. I just read an article today. As you brought the subject up, talking, I just read an article today that the article says, in a nutshell, the aliens brought Jesus to Earth, and that gave them the power like Superman. They didn't use the phrase like Superman, but that was their indication of where Jesus got the power that he gave, or being able to heal, all that type of stuff. And they became famous. I mean, I don't know of anybody else in the world that's ever been born that's had a year named after him.
Yeah, look,
just for starters.
You got to avoid things like this. I mean, these sort of stories abound on Facebook.
Oh, they're fun.
And
they're fun.
Nobody knows. I mean, this is so far back now that there's no real record of anything. And the only ones that were learned people in those days were the scribes. And some of these books were written, 100 years or dozens of years later. But these are not first-hand accounts. Please understand, it's only using modern-day technology to go back and see. We can recreate the sky of any particular point in time we want to now. And you can do it on your phone. You can do it on a little phone.
I'm not religious, but can I ask you the big question, the reason I called? I'll use the analogy of Santa Claus flying through space to go from all the places and houses he goes to. At the front, with the back of the sleigh, so right into deep space, with the back of the sleigh been moving at the same speed as the front of the sleigh in outer space. Or more seriously, a train on a train track with the back of the train.
I've never had a question like this on 40 years of radio. I don't know. I'm a gog of...
I've asked a couple of times of physics teachers, and they go, all they say is a good question.
If Stanley was moving to all the places in the world the way he did and visited every home, I think somebody did a calculation at one stage there, and it turned out that Santa would have had to contravene every basic law of physics and gravity that we know of, and even break the speed of light.
Yes, for sure.
Of course.
Yeah, be careful of stuff like that. It's a bit wacky when you think of it.
Yeah, but more seriously, a rocket in space, is the back of the rocket moving at the same speed as the front of the rocket?
Yes, it is. Yep.
That was my point.
Yeah. Well, it's like saying when you're in your car doing 100k an hour, is somebody in the front seat moving at the same speed as somebody in the back seat? You're all part of the one unit, and that one unit is moving at a certain speed. You're moving along with it. Yep.
Even in space.
Yep, even we're in space, yep. Things change when you reach the speed of light, though.
What about, can I just interject here? What about if you're on a really long high-speed train, and I saw one on TV the other night that was doing 500 kilometres an hour in China. If you were walking from the back of the train to the front of the train while it's doing 500 kilometres an hour, are you travelling faster than the train?
Yeah, you would be. You would have to be, because you're moving independent of the train itself. You got your speed of the train and you got your speed of you.
Oh.
So somebody standing stationary would be moving at, if you were, say, 200 miles an hour, 200k an hour, the train's moving.
Yes.
If somebody seated there would be moving at the same speed. If that person got up and started walking forward at a fast pace, you'd have to add that to them. But the speed of light doesn't work that way. When you've got, if you're in a spaceship and you were travelling at close to the speed or at the speed of light, and you shot a beam of light in front of you, out the front of you, and somebody measured that, they would still measure it as the speed of light. Light works differently, independent of sound or of ordinary movement. But to answer your question again, I would say that if somebody was walking in that train in the carriage there forward, you'd have to add their very slight speed, probably, half one or 2 kilometres an hour.
I thought it might.
Train.
I thought it might have been. Joe's disappeared. I was going to say, I thought that it might have been multiplied by, a factor more than just...
No. It would only be added to how fast you were walking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, now we've got another question for you, Dave. You're a popular man.
That's amazing, that one. I'm completely...
Yeah, me too. Now we've got Rick on the line. Hello, Rick.
Yeah, g'day, David. How are you? And
good, Rick. I hope you're okay.
Yeah, I'm not too bad, Dave. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. We've had a very good night here. We're celebrating our community radio station where I work, and we've just had a great night.
Oh, good on you.
Oh, that's great. That sounds.
We've got the telescope in the yard there. I got people up tonight. When I finished here, we're going to go out and have a look at the night sky. We've got a beautiful sky in Australia at the moment.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty good out here too, mate.
Yeah,
that's all good. No problem. I'm not quite sure because I was on the phone at the time, and I was sort of hearing the last bits about the last caller.
Yeah.
What was that about? Was that in really to define it quickly? But was that anything to do with being in a vehicle and moving?
Yes.
Rick, to answer your question honestly, I've got to say I have no idea.
We don't know.
Oh, okay. All right.
No.
Well, I've got one for you then.
Okay, go on then.
All right. Say that you got a rocket with, say, like a big cylinder as a body and nothing there, no chairs, no nothing. And you're a really fast runner. if you were scooting through the universe at, we all know, like, well, not all of us, but a lot of us know, 186,000 miles per second, I think, the light. Is that right?
That's the speed of light, yeah.
Yeah, so if we're cranking along at that, and I can run pretty fast, and we'll just say I can run 50 kilometres an hour.
Yeah.
What speed would I be doing?
You wouldn't be moving at the speed of light. Is that what you're saying?
Would I be ahead of it because I'm adding my speed to the speed?
You can't go any faster than the speed of light itself.
Okay, so
yeah.
Oh yeah, I suppose, yeah, that's right. So because the speed of light is it
doesn't
it
function.
Can't even.
It functions as a wave, and it also functions as a particle. It's one of the conundrums of science that if you're travelling at the speed of light, and you shot a beam of light out in front of you, that beam would not be travelling. Now, if you shot it out and somebody picked it up in front of you, they would still measure that beam of light at 186,000 miles a second. Light's the only contradiction to it.
Okay, I was just saying, if you're in a cylinder moving at that speed and you're running at 50 kilometres an hour, I was asking, would you be going faster than the speed of light?
No, you couldn't.
I understand that. Yeah, I understand that. So light is the maximum. It can't even escape a black hole.
No, that's right. Dead right. Exactly right, Rick. Whatever goes inside a black hole. See, the thing that holds light back is gravity. Gravity, it can't escape from the well of a black hole because whatever goes in there, even light, can't escape from the inside of a black hole. So light's the only contradiction in science. It is measured at the same speed no matter where or how fast the observer is moving. It'll always move at the same speed. If you went any faster than that, well, we haven't seen any evidence of that being possible. So at this stage, these are really interesting questions. I've never thought so deeply about that before. But I do know that there was a question posed a long time ago about somebody in a spaceship travelling at the speed of light, and if they turned their headlights on of that spaceship, would somebody measure that beam of light shooting out from the spaceship going faster than the speed of light? No, they wouldn't. They still measured it at the speed of light. Because light can only travel at the one speed and it's constant. No matter where you are, it'll still travel at the same speed. The only difference is through water, of course, but we're talking about in space there in a vacuum.
Yeah, well, that's interesting stuff. Rick, I hope that answers your question. We better move on, but nice
cool.
All right,
have a good one.
You too. See you, mate.
Thank you, Rick. I've got my birthday today, by the way.
Oh, happy birthday, Dave.
Oh, thank you very much. I've got a nice bottle of bourbon I'm going to open up very soon.
Oh, good on you. Well, yeah, you might be able to catch up to some of our listeners by the sounds of it.
I'm going to need it, I think, yeah.
No,
but good. 5AA listeners, you know, are quite... We've got a good relationship with this.
We sure do. Terrific. Yeah, we sure do. And, our listeners are very astute. But look, some mind-boggling stuff there, Dave. Oh, just here's one before we go to a break. And can you stick around for a bit longer?
Yeah.
Okay. You've told me this before, but what speed are we going as the Earth rotates?
You're moving at 1,500 k an hour right now, as you stand on planet Earth. But you don't notice that you're moving because everything around you is moving at the same rate.
Yeah.
Now, while you stand there, the sun appears to move in the sky. Now, is the sun moving or are you moving? The answer is you are moving.
Okay, so why aren't we flung off the Earth then? Is it because of gravity?
The gravity will hold you down and everything is moving. You only notice a difference. See, everything's moving at the same rate. So you look at a fence in the distance or a mountain or a house, you're moving it's moving at the same speed you are. Okay. So you can't tell that that's going any faster than you are. You can't tell. It looks to you like it's stationary because you're all moving. But when you look at the stars at night time, you'll find that they change position. So you are moving fairly quickly. It'll take you 24 hours to make that one day. 1,500 k an hour is what we're moving all the time on planet Earth. And the Earth is moving through space at a high rate of speed as well.
Okay, well...
And we're part of the Milky Way galaxy, which is also moving through space, along with all the other galaxies too. Everything in the universe and all the planets and everything is in motion. Nothing is stationary.
Dave, I've got another imponderable for you.
Oh, I love this one.
No, okay. So you're saying that we're all travelling at 1,500 kilometres an hour.
Yeah.
So what if there was a mode of transport that could do 1,500 kilometres an hour on the Earth, but in the opposite direction?
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't...
Well, you'd still cover the same distance.
You'd cover the same distance, but...
If you were travelling at 500 k an hour in the opposite direction...
No, 1,500 k an hour. So in other words, you must be at the point that you started from in some frame, whether it be a point above the Earth. So you've you know what I mean?
Well, you'd have to come back to where you started from, wouldn't you?
I don't know, Dave.
I've never had to think about that.
Well, I'll leave...
That needs a brain that's not as fuzzed out at this point in time than I am. Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave that one with you for a bit. Yeah. We'll take a break and come back, Dave. Don't go away.
All right.
Hey, hi, Mike Keelan here, and a Merry Christmas to you all. I just love Christmas. I really, really do. So with Christmas, all of you, enjoy the day. Be magnanimous as much as you can. Be as loving as much as you can for this very, very special day once a year that brings us all together as family. Merry Christmas.
Do we really need another computer? One that's faster, more powerful? Not everyone does. But to reinvent music using a neural processor, work off the grid with all-day battery, or bring a vision to life with AI-powered Co-Creator, then a Copilot Plus PC will make a difference. A powerful AI computer is not for everyone. But if you're trying to change the world, even if just your own, we built one for you. Microsoft Copilot Plus PC is powered by Snapdragon, the fastest, most intelligent Windows PCs ever. Battery life varies with usage and settings.
At Spotlight, save more at our Christmas sale with 50% off sheets, 50% off all Tontine and Everest quilts and pillows, and 40% off Coo quilt cover sets, so you can make it, gift it and be merry. All backed by our bargain guarantee. Sale on now. Exclusions apply. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
Introducing the It's 8 a.m. and I'm already sweating Macca's Run. Featuring the new toffee nut flavoured iced latte, part of the summer drinks range. So, Macca's Run? Available for a limited time.
Hello, Cherry. I'm listening. Save across the entire range with Southern Cherry's 2024 plate clearance sale, including Demo Tiggo 7 Urbans from $29,990 and Demo Amoda 5 FX from $25,990. Plus, receive a gift card of up to $2,000. Don't miss out. Visit southerncherrymorfettvale.com.au to explore the range. 157 Main South Road, Morfett Vale. T's and C's apply.
It's getting pretty hot out here. I'm about 20 k's away from your place. 10 if the wind picks up.
Get a heads up from danger. Download the Alert SA app for alerts about fires, floods and other dangers near you.
For many, Christmas is a time of joy, hope and celebration. But not for everyone. Not for the family living in a car. Not for the parents skipping meals to pay bills. Not for the thousands of Aussies struggling to make it through each week. But you can help. Your donation to the Salvation Army Christmas Appeal can help put food on the table, provide a safe place to sleep, and give some Christmas joy to families in need. Search Salvos and give a new beginning today.
Has made us stop and reflect on what's really important. And if ever there was a time to focus on our health and well-being, it's now. Hi, Sharon from Temple Day Spa. You know, it is so important to take time to nurture our health and well-being. Now take a moment to think about a gift for someone who really needs this. This Christmas, give them the gift of time. Time for themselves with a gift voucher from Temple Day Spa. Unley and now open in Semaphore. Not just a treatment, an experience.
Hi Strikers fans, Alex Ross here. Don't miss a second of the KFC Big Bash action. The team returns to Adelaide Oval this Friday night to play the Hobart Hurricanes from 6:45pm. Get your tickets before they're gone at adelaidestrikers.com.au. Starting from just $37 for adults and $13 for kids. Adelaide Strikers, our city, our team.
Enjoy 5AA in crystal clear sound with the 5AA Player app.
This is David Bruce.
We've opened up a can of worms here. I'm with Dave Reneke, Astro Dave. We have another caller. We've we've stirred the hornet's nest. People want answers, and here's Alan. Alan, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad.
Dave, a question. You said if we're travelling at the speed of light and we turn your headlights on, how would they work? It'd be still. They wouldn't go on.
Well, why wouldn't they go on?
Because you're travelling at the speed of light, they've got to travel faster.
No, your headlights on a vehicle would turn on if you're on a spaceship, but the beam of light...
The beam of light wouldn't go anywhere because you're
if you're travelling
ahead of it.
If you're travelling at the speed of light, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's right. You wouldn't have anything to measure. There wouldn't be anything extra there. The beam of
it'd just be black still until you slow down to let the light catch up.
Yeah, well, nothing can exceed the speed of light. So an extra beam of light coming out from a vehicle moving at light speed is not going to add to the speed of the.
No, just they might be on, but they won't shine anywhere.
Sorry,
the headlight, the lights be on, but they
no
can't put the beam out. Yeah, the beam wouldn't go anywhere because by the time you turn them on and you're travelling along, they can only travel at the speed of light, so it can't get in front of you.
Yeah.
Dave's getting a headache. Alan, thanks for your call, mate. I like that question. I think it's a good one. See you, mate.
Okay,
bye-bye. Are you all right, Dave?
Yeah, but Dave, just to be sort of, we can spin it around, there's a lot of other things going on in the sky that we want to tell you about.
Okay.
You've got a beautiful planetary alignment happening up in January.
All right.
Which has not happened before for quite a while now. So keep it in mind, the 25th of January, you're going to have all the planets in a line. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, all clustered together after sunset. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Anyone who's got a...
Okay, and easy to see?
Pardon?
When you look up, can you see it with the naked eye?
Yeah, they'll be there after sunset, yep.
Yeah?
And visible to the naked eye. And also, if you've got a telescope, good chance to look at all the planets in a row.
How fantastic.
In one go, in one...
So, like, when you look up at the sky, so there'll be a string of planets, or string of bright lights, I suppose.
Yeah, roughly in a line, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, far apart or close together?
Oh, fairly, close together. Enough to be able to be seen in the one view.
Yeah, okay.
In the one part of the sky.
Wow.
Not perfectly in it, but we call it alignment because they're basically aligned in the same plane. Well, not the same plane, but in the same part of the sky there.
Okay.
Clustered together. It's going to be beautiful to have a look at.
Sounds good.
So you've got all the main planets there in one fell swoop, one go. And boy, oh boy, grab one of the apps that we use there, called Skyview or Star Chart, and they'll show you. Skyview will show you the planets, and Star Chart will also give you a good indication of where they are as well.
Fantastic. So what date is that?
Yeah.
What date, Dave?
On the 25th, this starts, January 25.
And for how long will it be evident?
It'll be like that for a few weeks until they start to move apart again.
Oh, terrific. So if we have an overcast sky on the 25th, it won't matter. We can just wait for a few days for it to clear up.
Even leading up to it, you'll see the planets coming together in that part of the sky, and it'll be nice just nice. The astrologers are going to have a field day with it.
Oh, yeah, I imagine that.
And there's no truth in the rumour, by the way, that with all of these planets in the same part of the sky at once, the combined gravity of all of these is going to cause, well, we've had people say earthquakes and, rises in the height of the oceans. No, it doesn't affect us at all.
Okay.
Very negligible. The only thing that causes the change to any degree is the moon because it's a lot closer. So the planets being where they are, they're a long way away.
Okay.
And their combined gravity, even if they're in the same line as us, doesn't really matter to anything as far as we're concerned here.
Okay. Now, Dave, I want to talk to you just quickly about something I saw on a streaming service a couple of nights ago. By the way, we've got another question coming up. But it was called The Program, Dave, and it's about the American congressional hearings into unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, right? Have you heard of that, The Program?
They're following it for 30 years.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, you'd know. Well, I found it fascinating. And to see some of these people who were appearing before these congressional hearings, and they were spilling the beans, more or less. I mean, some of them were refusing to give too much away because they were well, they were, I suppose, scared for their own safety. But it certainly did tend to put a lot of credence on the belief that we have had close encounters of the third kind, and the American government knows much more about it than they've been letting on. What are your thoughts about that?
You've got to be very careful here. The first rule in science is don't fool yourself first. Be careful there. We've got to be careful. These stories abound, but there is a lot of evidence for something being seen in the sky there. The only thing is that we've not seen... Look, my point of view is show me the money. We haven't been shown the money yet. It's all right to make all of these claims. They've been around for 30, 40 years now. I remember the same sort of thing was tried through the United Nations in 1976 by a man by the name of Leonard Stringfield. Leonard Stringfield gathered 25 people who claimed and had affidavits, were willing to stand up in court and to address the United Nations saying they were part of a cover-up, they were part of moving alien bodies, they were part of seeing crashed UFOs, and he was going to spill the beans as well. This was all set up, ready to go. And Leonard Stringfield was a fairly respected author and a UFO researcher. Now, one by one, all of these claims fell apart.
Okay.
When it finally came to address the United Nations, he had nothing. So all I'm saying is that credible claims require incredible evidence, as Arthur C. Clarke once said. We don't have the evidence.
Okay,
We've got a lot of anecdotal evidence. We don't have any nuts and bolts. There's nothing we can examine. And you've got to ask yourself why, with such strong supporting evidence here and such strong testimony at the Pentagon level now, and fighter pilots coming forward with the films from their planes, with picked up on radar and also seen visually objects out there from the USS Nimitz and other warships they've had over the years, to be able to follow these objects, not only from the pilots themselves, but with their instrumentation. These are objects being seen, hard returns, not a figment of the imagination, but these objects, they're called tic-tacs. They don't have any wings or tail section. They seem to be a streamlined type of object and pretty much shaped like the tic-tac that we're used to.
Okay.
But these are performing dynamics and movements that defy our known laws of physics and gravity.
Yeah. That's
Some
well.
of these things,
sorry, I was going to say that that's what on this program they did have some fighter pilots who came off one of the aircraft carriers, and I think there were 4 of them flying at one time, and they were being circled by this craft, and then it just absolutely after a while, after 20 minutes or so, it just disappeared. Sorry, Dave?
As the planes were being vectored towards these objects, they were sent to a position, to be in a position. Within a second, these objects turned up at that position. They moved straight away very quickly to that position. One was even seen at the edge of the Earth's atmosphere, one of these objects, picked up on radar, and what was seen here just defied everything we know about physics and gravity. In 1 second, it moved from the edge of the Earth's atmosphere, shot down and hovered just above the ocean's level.
Wow. Yeah,
now,
incredible
what can move that fast? We don't have anything that can do that.
Yeah.
So the evidence is there, but it's not tangible evidence.
No, fair enough.
It's anecdotal. It's picked up. We've got radar returns. We've got highly qualified, technically trained, pragmatic people who say they're seeing these objects, but we're not getting anything coming out from the United States government.
No, well, that's right.
And these are the places where some of these people have worked at. They said, we've been involved with these, we've seen them, and there's even talk about retrieval of bodies. Now, I don't know how real this is or how true it is, but I've got to say to you again, show me the money.
Yeah.
Why can't we have something shown to us rather than just deal with these excellent reports, though? In any other sphere, in a court of law, they would be taken as gospel.
Well, can I just say that one of the points that the interviewer made when I can't remember who he was interviewing, he was interviewing an expert who said he can't say too much because, he's afraid for his
that's always been a common thread. That worries me a lot.
No, but he said it could, it could only come to light if a US president gave the order to release this information. And I was just wondering, someone like Donald Trump could perhaps do something like that. And who knows? Who knows what lies ahead? But anyway, look, we've got one more call, and I know you're a busy man. You want to go and check out your stars, but now we've got Huey who wants to ask you a question. Huey.
Huey always comes up with a sensible question.
Yeah, good evening. David, with all the planets that we know of through the universe, and the Earth's travelling at 1,500 k's an hour,
it's spinning. It's spinning, not travelling. It's spinning.
Yeah, okay. Spinning, okay. Well, spinning, 1,500 k's thereabouts. Most of the other planets probably have a variance in speed, and also are they all travelling the same direction, or some travelling anti-direction?
Yeah,
and also with the Big Bang expansion, the expansion of the universe, what speed is the expansion moving in a black mass to all the planets come with us?
Yeah, they've got nothing to do with the planet's rotation. Most of the planets in our solar system all spin in the one direction, and that's because they were flung out from the sun as big globs of material, and they started spinning, and they all started spinning in the same direction because of the way they were thrown out. But the contradiction is Venus. Venus spins backwards, Huey. Its day is longer than its year. Now, that may be because of circumstances that happened after the planet was born. Because Venus is the same size as the Earth. It's the only planet that really does spin backwards. In other words, it's got the rotation opposite to what we have. A lot of astronomers over the years, and a lot of other people who've looked at this, think that at one stage Venus may have been sideswiped by a massive proto-planet in the process of being formed that was being pulled back into the sun. It may have hit Venus and spun it round the other way. We can't tell. We don't know enough yet. We've got to go there again and examine that world, but it's an amazing planet. Uranus, and I think one of the giant planets also, has got a very slow rotation, but everything is moving through space now, but that's nothing to do with the spin. You talk about the Big Bang. Now, the Big Bang is it's a contradiction at the moment. We're not sure whether that is the real start or how the universe was born, because we're now getting evidence from the Webb telescope. Webb telescope is looking back at the dawn of time. It's looking back at the very, very first stars and the very first galaxies that were ever made. And when we look back there, we would have expected to see a lot of chaos. In other words, material flying everywhere and going in all sorts of different directions. But what we've found is just the opposite. We're finding a very, very subdued early universe where it contradicts how the Big Bang would suggest that the universe was made. So we've now got a problem in science where the Big Bang may not be the theory of how the universe was born. We've got to look for another theory that backs up the evidence, because, as Carl Sagan once said, if the observed evidence doesn't back up the theory, you've got to change the theory, which is what we're doing at the moment. So we know how fast the universe is expanding. And as you go backwards in time there, or as you go forward, it's moving faster and faster all the time. It's just expanding and continuing to get faster and faster. We don't know how the universe...
What speed?
I'm not sure. It's called the Hubble constant. You'd have to look it up. It's called Hubble constant, and it is in the process of being looked at more seriously. It's what we thought was the general speed of the expansion of the universe, but as I say, we've got to now relook that theory, because the Big Bang theory doesn't seem to work properly when we look back at the dawn of time. So everything in space is moving, and most of it's moving in different speeds depending on where it is. All the objects further away from us are moving the fastest. So it's a big problem. Cosmology at the moment is in chaos, and we've got to go back to square one now and start to look at it a bit more seriously. hopefully with quantum computers coming online, we may have better answers.
David and Huey, we're going to have to leave it there. Huey, all the best to you, my friend. Thanks for calling.
You too. Thanks, Dave.
See you. Okay.
Thanks, Huey.
And Dave Reneke, more mind-boggling material from you.
Oh, been a good
as
night.
usual.
It's amazing, some of the questions.
Oh, yeah,
I must admit, you can't have an answer to everything, Dave.
No, of course not. But you give it your best shot. But it's as I said, some of it's imponderable.
Well, it'll make me go back and have a look at a few things, I must admit.
Yeah, but it's fascinating.
I've given you what I know. That's as much as I can do.
Yeah, maybe, I mean, if you're free next Saturday, I'd like you to perhaps just, talk about some of the most important space stories of 2024. So do you think you might have some time next Saturday?
I don't get back until Sunday.
Oh, okay, that's a shame.
Yeah, I'll be on a tram. I'll be flying and train.
Okay, never mind.
Unfortunately, but I'll be here on Sunday, and from there on, I'm back home. I'll be away for a week.
All right, mate.
Going away visiting family. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, you'll hear from me anyway in the near future. You know I will. But
let's do it again. Let's do it again as soon as we can. Yeah.
All right. Good on you, mate. Thank you so much for your time. And,
thanks, Dave.
We'll catch up soon. And by the way, if I don't get the chance, have a fantastic Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you and all your listeners too. It's been terrific.
Thanks,
Talk
Dave.
to you soon.
See
Bye-bye.
you, mate. Bye.
Love your sports and looking for something different to get fit this summer? Welcome to 5AA Football Fives. No skills, no worries, no time to train, no need. Five-a-side soccer has a smaller field, smaller goals, quick 20-minute halves and